Hey, hello, welcome back to another episode of Dutch Diecast Collector. Today we got a awesome JC Wings Sukhoi Su-17M4, also known as a fitter for the NATO people. Diecast in 1/72 scale. First, let's admire the box art, which is always splendid by JC Wings. Just overall, so a glossy imprint. It's like the plane is literally popping out of the image, so that's really cool. But also the little details of like the scout bat and the scout himself. So dealing with a reconnaissance and attack plane from the Afghan War during 1988, roughly. Now, has some basic info if you want to read. I hope it's readable, but feel free to pause if you want to read. It's in English, so that's really handy. But then again, coming back to images, it's really cool. By the way, for those who want to buy one, these are still new for sale as far as I know, but feel free to check it out. Used, there is always a big market for these. There are, I think, 600 or 700 made, so you're not bad off. Let's see, yeah, 700 made, so that's not so bad. This is number 633. So I took this packaging out already. It's the parts kit. It's usually sitting here on the corner. So what you might notice, this is a lot like Caliber, and you're 100% right. This is a mold that was designed by Caliber. And Caliber said, like, hey, we're not going to finish this project, we're going to give it away or sell it. And they sold it to JC Wings, and JC Wings took it on themselves to create more. Thinking for production-wise, I think it was a good choice because JC can make a lot more. We're going to dig into it. It's nicely foamed and protected. There's no stand with it. The stand is a separate item. I have one in stock. But we're not going to show you. I would recommend watching the video previously. That was from the, I think, the East German one, the Tiger. I showed you guys, no, the Polish fitter, sorry. The Polish fitter episode. I'll see if I can add it to the description in the description text. And there you can find the stand and how it looks with the stand. Very cool, by the way. But this one is going to go on its wheels in my collection. So let's dig into it together. By the way, guys, feel free to comment. Have information or things that you guys know about it or like. I got a lot of good input from the last fitter that I did, especially on the weapons rack. Apparently it should not be on that model, and I was curiously interested and I started digging out, and indeed it was not supposed to be there. So it was a choice from JC Wings to do that. So the box is quite heavy, let's put it aside. It's a giant. And then we go into packaging. The packaging is really nice. You might see two little black dots here. Those are the notches to hold down the plastic foliage. And then, of course, a awesome little weapons kit. Awesome in the sense of detail, and especially the photo pod. I think it's a photo pod at least. Yeah, I think it is. It's not a machine gun, that's for sure. But I believe it's a reconnaissance pod, but I need to check up the names again. Then, of course, the small parts in the corners and a lot of magnetic stuff, so we're going to dig into it together. So the locks you can just twist off and they come loose. It's a bit like an RC car pack, almost. So, again, nicely foiled in, so there's foliage extra over it. So this is all cool. Nice. My first review, actually, was the East German one. I think it was the East German one, I'm not 100% sure. Feel free to check it out. It was like a year ago, roughly now. So one thing I'm going to give away straight to you guys, don't grab them on the flare pots. These flare pots are glued to the frame and they will snap off. Don't. What you're going to do, you're going to grab it on the tail and on the front under the frame as far as possible and then gently lift her out. They don't like to be pulled on parts. Everything will break off. That's quite a heavy model, so... It's nicely foamed in there. There's extra foam to hold the wings, because the wings are movable items, so the wings wouldn't break in transport, I'm assuming. Because some of these are quite weak. I had examples from Bob, for instance, a friend of mine. His plane had a flappy, so like it just hangs, it doesn't move anymore, and it broke off even, I believe. The brown, quite cool colors, by the way. Let's dig into that one right away. So let's go into the plane details and then we talk about the rest. I thought I had it on zoom mode again. For some reason, the camera zoom is quite hard to explain. All right. So first off, what you see had the caution logo. Now I instantly notice a chip of paint gone here. So that could have been better. So I'm missing a big chip paint here is out. Now, I'm not a big worrier. Planes had damage, so not a big issue for me, but it's something to be careful about with JC Wings. The little Indian, it's a print. The 07 and the stars, so the stars probably represent. Let's see how the details are in there. It's super hard to see again, but there is some detail I'm going to share with you guys. The poke is there, the gauges, the colors. The sides are not filled. Usually the Sukhoi 17 has a lot of gauges on the sides also. So you need to pack it down again and then push it back in, I believe. But would not recommend doing this often. They have packs all around and it's quite fragile. Then, of course, going back to the flare pots, there is 4 of them on the top. They're not straight. They're all under a different angle. So this one and this one and this one and this one. So that's a bit of a downer, and then more adaptations down the road. The rear tail, nicely done. The engine has some detail in there, but it's hard without lighting. The flaps are movable in the back. The wings are, of course, movable separately from each other, which is not realistic at all. But it's cool that they made it movable. There's some oil residue on it. I hope it's not paint residue. I do see some paint dust here. So there's like a third color brown now. There's some paint dust, I think. So that's also a quality defect. For the rest of the wings, actions move nicely and smoothly. Watch out with all these little packs, by the way. So one thing that I always hated about this mold, and you clearly see the split part of the front cockpit, let's say, of the canopy or something. Don't know how to pronounce it in English even. But that's one thing that I hated mainly, so that big fuse line. Magnets nicely done. A little bit of weathering in the bottom, so a little bit dirt. And a fun fact, only the left is dirty and the right is actually quite clean. So I don't know why they did that. And I'm missing here something. A little cover for the plane, I see. It's in the packaging actually. So they gave me a parts kit here, or is it like with every plane, and the little notches here. Usually it sits in the plane, so it's quite interesting to see it out. But hey, I still don't understand why we don't have magnets on the weapons, but yeah, it is okay to install, but they're quite rough, these ones especially. Lights, nicely done. The front, nicely done. Is it perfect? No, by far not. I think paying 140 euros right now. It's quite an expensive little plane. I'm not even sure how to feel about the notch out in the paint here. But I think they can do better at JC Wings for the price that you have to pay. Now let's have a look at the collector's card also, because it's also important. 633 out of 700. Nice card again. I like to display the cards with the planes. They're nice thick plastic, like a credit card almost. It comes with manual. If you ever lose your manual, it's always good to share. Now you can add a little pilot figure. The pilot figure is indeed there, but I'm not going to install it. I don't like that much about it. It is actually on serial number, this drawing, so that's quite cool. So photo pod, gas tanks. Now you have to swap, so you can swap a tank for a photo pod. Well, that's okay. That's cool. It would be interesting with weight, but yeah. All right, drop bombs, missiles, and another fuel tank or rocket pod. And I'm gonna go with the rocket pods because of ground attack purposes. And of course the closed element. It's nice. But it's nice that they have put some instructions with it. I also like that Caliber Wings recently started doing more on like advertising and teaching people how to do things and install them. What I will do, I will save you guys from the boring part. I will start installing all these parts on the plane and we'll dig into the finish. Interesting in between. So these things feel as fragile as always, and I would not handle them too many times in my life. The wheels don't move on the rear, but on the front there is some movement in it. So there is actually a little bit of play in it. It's not badly made, but it's just, it feels super fragile. Like I would not rip and pull on this thing. It feels like a model kit, let's say. But just wanted to share that in between. Stand corrected on the manual. Manual is not fully clear. So this is a dispenser pod actually. So it has these little holes. I think it's a mining machine, so that put mines down or something. Really interesting. It looks a bit like a runway dispenser, but what they did, there's a magnet in here and you can put it to the screw, which is quite cool. But then you have all these blank holes, so yeah, I'm gonna go with the item that I don't have yet. The weapons or the wheels fit nicely, they're sitting sturdy, so that's good. But I'll keep building. I have to be honest with you guys, this was the first very smooth install of weaponry. The drop bombs apparently on the outer packs for the manual. It feels a bit weird, but okay. Fab 500 bombs, I believe they are. The dispenser is really cool, but you have to be really careful with aiming it so that it's straight under the body. The rocket pod's really smooth fitting. The weathering on the missile's really cool done. So yeah, it is for sure a nice plane. So we'll continue. Of course, I'll show you also the parts that you will not install now. So there are some parts that are now obsolete, let's say. Go with more tanks. So these are the ones that usually go under the wing instead of the drop bomb. The details are, or the drop bomb, the rocket pods. And then these are the ones that are under the center part. So most Sukhois have these double tanks in the middle. It's always quite iconic for them when you see them fly, at least when I saw one. We have some covers, so this is really something from Caliber Wings, I feel. Really nice. And of course a giant pilot figure. Feels a bit overscaled, but I'll see if I can get it in actually. I'm curious if it fits really well. We'll be back in a sec. So I hope my cam doesn't fall over. So this is something I wanted to discuss with you guys. So I got a lot of questions about the P-tote and the, I don't know what the other one is. It's also sort of a P-tote. It's like a double one. And a lot of people have been asking me, Rene, why do they fall off constantly? I'm sick and tired of JC Wings and blah, blah, blah. And this is something they learned to accept, apparently. So one of them is bigger and one of them is smaller. So the smallest one goes on the part here. They will not stay, of course. Usually you get some blue tack from some dealers with it. This one doesn't. You need blue tack or white glue. Now what I do, I'm going to show you guys. I hope it helps someone out there. So Uwu stick, it's a German white glue. Let me put some white glue on it. I will try and put it on as subtle as possible, so like a bit like butter scraping. And what I'll do, I'll put it on there. And usually it holds because it's so light. Is it pretty? Mwah, not really. I still see the white glue and I'm not a big fan. But it's the only way to get these little guys on, unfortunately. The smallest one is the easiest usually because it's a lot lighter than the P-tote, because you see my P-tote is already hanging. It's falling off even. So I need to put a bit more on there. So what I usually do, I just scrape and I'll check like what volume is, what it would make it stick. Blue tack works a little bit better, I have to be honest with you guys. So I need to buy some blue tack. So if somebody has a good link, especially friends from Europe, please share it with me, because I'm interested. Because I need some better glue than this one. It works, but I don't want to permanent glue it on there because I think that's a waste of the model. But it gives you a bit of an idea, like what struggle do you have when you buy one of these little guys. And yeah, I want to be honest as possible. Alrighty guys, and there you have it, a finished fitter. Now I needed to play a little bit more with the P-tote. I'm pretty sure with blue tack that's solved. The blue tack they usually also use with the little Panzer cars and so on. It always works well, but it's hard to aim it correctly and that it looks proper. So I have some small defects I want to discuss with you guys. So one paint chip, I don't bother myself too much with, it's too small. Yeah, the flare pots, I don't like the positioning. The P-totes as usually not proper, hard to install. The flap in the rear, same story. Paint, a little bit of varnish here or something else that is stained. So far from perfect, but it's still a cool model. I like fitters, so that's my downfall right now. And so the least popular models usually end up in the not so well worked off, let's say. But this is my era that I like to collect. So yeah, I want to thank you guys again for watching. I'm going to see if I can clean up the glue a little bit. I will grab you guys with the camera upstairs to show all the fitters that I have right now, because I think that's fun to show. So one thing I noticed, guys, during my installment, and it's correct on this one, it's a bit funny to see because one of the packs is a bit smaller and the one is a bit bigger, so you assume automatically that it's on the right end, but it should be the other way around. So this little guy should be on the right and the big guy should be on the left. Sorry for that, some misconfusion on my end, I didn't know. So I'm gonna see if I can tag these back on because now my glue has dried up. So I'm going to clean it up and put these on proper. Hello all. So the fitters all together, all the versions that are out now. I'm still waiting for the East German one. I'm not sure yet if I will grab myself many more after this, but I do like it. It's West German one, by the way, so we needed the East German now left, so the Hind from Panzerkampf behind. But just to show you guys all the fitters together and how would it look. It's quite a display shelf eater, so always be careful with that. Thank you guys.